My name's Laura McAleer. I teach in St Patrick's College in Ballymena. We're a non-selective post-primary school, and we take students from year 8 through to year 14. I'm head of science in St Patrick's, and I have been teaching for about 19 years, and about 14 of those have been head of departments. So pretty confident in what I'm doing in this role. I suppose quite unusually, I am actually primary trained, even though I've ended up in the post-primary sector. So bring a slight sort of skills and things like that to the role as well. And I suppose recently, just since our last communication, I've been told that I've been accepted as a fellow of the Chartered College. So quite pleased about that too. I am a science teacher, and it was always science that interested me at school. My mum was a primary teacher, and then later a primary head teacher. So I always had her as a role model. But I remember sitting in my A-level biology class at one stage going, do you know what? I could do this. I could teach this. And that really was the motivation for me then to go and follow the BEd degree and get my teaching qualifications. So I think it's really the vocational aspect of teaching that really appeals to me, and doing my utmost to help our students achieve the best that they can. I feel it's a real great motivator, and keeping us going and keeping me going every day, coming into work. But yeah, I think a lot was the role model of my mum, and then realizing how enjoyable it actually is. Well, I had joined the college as a member, first of all, just to keep abreast of different trends and research, just through my own interest, really. And through looking through the website and that, I came aware of the certificate. But being in a Northern Ireland setting, I was sort of unsure at first just how useful it would be in the Northern Ireland context. So I was very undecided at that point, but the Education Authority in Northern Ireland then had started promoting the certificate, and really then that was all the encouragement I needed. I jumped at the chance to get signed on to the certificate and complete the unit of study. And once I started, I realised all my fears were completely unfounded. It completely applies in Northern Ireland as well, as in the rest of the UK. I suppose I enjoyed the challenge of it most. Just the sort of focused and directed continued learning for our profession. The huge range of material on the course, diverse and varied research articles, journal articles, were always very interesting to engage with and to reflect upon in my own setting. Um, there was plenty of scope to work within my own setting. So the priorities and needs of my own school could be incorporated in with the learning that was going on. It wasn't like it was an extra burden or anything like that on top of what I'm already doing in school. I can tie them all together. And really, it gave me the encouragement to sit back and actually reflect on my own practice, which sometimes you sort of lose with the rush of the school year, and you're through content and out the other side before you really actually get to sit back and think, well, could I have done that better, or is there a better way of doing this? So it really did encourage me just to sit back and reflect a bit more, and then just also to refresh and just develop my own practice, so that if we don't really consider what we're doing, you could get stale very quickly. So it gives you the encouragement to sit and think, yeah, I could do this better, and look at how others are approaching the same sort of situations. it just increases your motivation for your own professional development and to keep working and keep learning and keep developing what we're doing. Um, I suppose, as I said before, I think about my own practice more. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Could I be doing it better? Um, is there a better way of doing things? And will this help my students in the future? Can I adjust what I'm doing or teaching? And I suppose it just gives me more confidence in my own practice that yeah, I'm along the right lines, and my students are performing well, and um, we all need a wee bit of confidence boost now and again. Um, so yeah, I think what I will continue with the professional development and the chartered teacher course now that I've joined on to. Certainly having done the certificate in the first place has given me the motivation to continue on and work towards that end goal. Well, I suppose it's a relevant qualification, and it demonstrates that I have the ability to reflect on my practice and use evidence that's out there in order to develop our teaching and learning within the school. Um, I suppose in the future, we haven't signed up for the chartered teacher, as well as another qualification to add to the bag. And I suppose it also keeps the interest there in current trends and research that you are aware of what's going on out there, and it's not just classroom focused. You can see the bigger picture, and how we can just, I suppose, benefit the pupils as best we can. I mean, that's our ultimate role. So this helps me keep doing that. So having completed the certificate um, in evidence informed practice, and haven't really enjoyed it, I you know I thought the continuing on with the professional development, continuing on with teacher learning, that I would go down the charter teacher route. So I have now signed up to complete that, and obviously the certificate already counts as some of the credit towards the final C-Teach. So yeah, it certainly helps that. But yeah, I've only sort of recently started now, and since September, so I'm enjoying it so far, but I've still a bit to go. Society's always changing, and so the needs for students are constantly changing. I mean, I've been teaching 19 years, nearly 20 years now, and looking back, there's definitely change from those first few years. So it doesn't take long for um, trends and what we're seeing coming in through our classroom door change. So as the needs change, we need to stay abreast of those and stay up to date ourselves. So developments in research, the likes of cognitive science, more lately, it wasn't something I heard of in university as I was doing my degree. So we need to keep on top of that and make sure that we're using all the evidence out there to best help our students succeed in the routes that they take. Um, I think as a whole, as a professional or as a profession, we need to keep up with these trends and developments in research. Just otherwise, there's a chance we could become completely irrelevant, and we're not hitting the needs that the young people that we have in front of us. Um, and you can be a long time out of university. Um, to me, 20 years has gone by in a flash. But there's a need for continual professional learning just to ensure that we do get the best outcomes for our students, and also just to keep ourselves fresh and motivated and engaged with what we're doing, and keep the enjoyment there. it's hard to pin it down to one thing, I suppose. Couple of things, maybe. Just a greater professional knowledge of the current issues in education, and sort of what's going on out there in the world of research, the likes of cognitive science, retrieval practice, those sort of issues that are very much to the fore now. Completing the course, give me more information about it. I was hearing mutterings about them, in different groups and things like that, but I found out a whole lot more actually behind the research and so on. And now it's just down to me to have a look and see how I ensure my schemes of work embed that good practice that we're seeing. I suppose also the ability to critically analyze the claims that are made in research, as we know that it doesn't always translate well into the classroom, just because a research article works in one place does not necessarily mean it's going to work in all settings. So taking the time to actually just sit down and evaluate, will that work in my setting? And I suppose just lastly, a desire to keep on developing my practice and my own professional learning. So following the C Teach route, is a demonstration of that, I suppose. Yes, I absolutely would recommend the certificate to friends and colleagues. It's a great starting point for engaging in research, especially if you haven't done it for a while.